New York, the year 1849. Walter Hunt sits in his workshop, owing $15. He has 3 hours end a piece of wire. What he's about to invent will keep wearing for the next 200 years, but he won't earn a single cent from it. And that's only the beginning of this story. Let's go back 3,000 years, the 14th century before our era, the world of the Mycenaeans and the ancient Greeks. People wear loose fabrics, robes, tunics, togas, and somehow all of it has to stay on the body. Plain pins prick, fall out, and rust. They need something cleverer, and someone has a brilliant idea. The fibula, a metal clasp with a spring and a guard that shields your fingers from the point. It works exactly like a modern safety pin. They made them from bronze, iron, silver, even gold. Archaeologists found them in graves from Scandinavia to North Africa. For the ancients, this was no ordinary fastener. It was a status symbol. The more ornate the fibula, the higher your rank. But then fashion changed. The Middle Ages brought buttons, hooks, end laces. The fibula slowly vanished from everyday life. For the next few hundred years, nobody really missed it, and the whole principle of the spring clasp slipped quietly into oblivion. And it might have stayed forgotten forever, if not for one American wife an empty wallet. Hunt owes his draftsman $15, which back then was worth something like $500 today. The man offers a deal. Here's a piece of wire. Bend it into something useful, patent it, and your debt is gone. Hunt sits down, takes a length of number 18 brass wire, and starts twisting. He bends it, straightens it, bends it again. But what he creates in the next 3 hours will go down in history. 3 hours. That's all it took Hunt to invent the safety pin. A pin wife, a closed loop to protect your fingers, and a spring to hold the point in place. Simple, brilliant, and obvious, once you've seen it. It was really a reinvention of the ancient fibula, except Hunt almost certainly had no idea fibulas had ever existed. He called his creation the dress pin. On the 10th of April, 1849, Hunt receives patent number 6,281, and he immediately sells it for $400. He pays off the debt and pockets the rest. The company that bought the patent goes on to make millions from the safety pin. Hunt, not a single cent more. And here's where the story turns truly bitter. Walter Hunt was no failure, quite the opposite. He built one of the first sewing machines, with an eyed needle, a repeating rifle, a knife sharpener, a street sweeper, a fountain pen. More than 20 inventions, many still used today in almost the same form. A brilliant mind, a hopeless businessman. Hunt kept selling his patents for pennies because he needed the money right now. He died in 1859 at the age of 63, practically penniless. Others built fortunes on his ideas. And the safety pin. The safety pin began a life of its own. In the second half of the 19th century, it became essential in every home. Fastening a diaper, mending a tear, holding a bandage in place. Simple, cheap, and reliable. By the early 20th century, the safety pin had reached nearly every household in America and Europe. But the biggest twist in its story came from a place no one expected. London, the year 1976. Punk rock storms the stage. Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren dressed the Sex Pistols in torn clothes held together wife safety pins, leather jackets, and chains. The pin stops being a tool end becomes a manifesto. Worn through an ear, a cheek, a shirt, it says one thing. I reject your rules. Sid Vicious becomes an icon. Wife safety pins fastened to absolutely everything. Johnny Rotten would later claim the pins were just there to patch up ripped clothes. But it didn't matter. The image was stronger than the intention. The safety pin had become the symbol of an entire generation's rebellion. And here's the strange part. That very symbol of rebellion was seized on by the world of high fashion. In 1994, Versace designed a famous gown held together with golden safety pins, worn by Elizabeth Hurley. Gaultier and McQueen followed the same path. An object worth pennies walked day runways, where dresses cost thousands. But the safety pin's life as a symbol doesn't end with fashion. In 2016, after Brexit ended the United States election, thousands of people on both sides of the ocean started wearing safety pins on their clothes. The meaning was simple. I am a safe person, you can come to me. 3,000 years after the fibula, a piece of wire was once again saying something about who we are. So just think about it. From golden fibulas on the shoulders of Roman noblewomen, to the workshop of an indebted inventor in New York, to the punks of London, to people wearing it on their chests as a sign of solidarity. 3,000 years, and still the same little piece of wire. Subscribe so you don't miss the next story of an ordinary object. Because the safety pin is proof that the simplest things can carry the greatest meaning. 3 hours with a piece of wire in the workshop of an indebted mechanic, and an object that shaped the world for 3,000 years, even if the inventor himself never lived to know it.